It was only after I finally started to become comfortable with you, confident that you really were mine, and that I didn't have to work to impress you, that things got complicated. My husband had left for the day, and you were still lingering, having spent the night with him, but it was for me that you had a new love poem, and I undressed you while you sang it. When you were done, you clung to me, stripping me in turn while I simply kissed you and ran my hands from your tiny waist to your smooth ankles, and soon enough we were both naked. At first I felt so uncomfortable exposing my body like that to you, as if you'd see it, then finally realize how old I am. But you never did seem to mind, not as you placed your soft kisses on my breast, nor as you straddled me with your legs around my waist and arms around my neck. So entranced was I at the moment that I never heard the footsteps outside. We just started to kiss when the door suddenly opened. What a scene to walk into! There my husband was, in the doorway, his courtesan and wife naked together, mouths still connected by a strand. For a moment nobody said anything. In that time I felt terror as never before in my life. Sang-min is not a gentle man, and while he hardly ever raised his hand to me, I was still overwhelmed with horror that he might hurt me, or even worse, that he would hurt you. I had seduced you, but in that moment I realized if he did try, there was nothing I could do to protect you. Hold on. Okay, but just as we were standing, I'm sorry, sirs, he just laughed and laughed. Well, he said, ogling us with that cold stare of his, I'm certainly paying you enough for two. Then he walked over and raised his hand and stared in terror. But all he did was pat you on the head as though you were a child. I don't know what she told you, but you don't have to pay any attention to her. Easier to just ignore her, really. All we could do was just start to stammer. I wanted to, and we were both so afraid, but he just laughed and shrugged. Whatever, he said as he passed and went to the other door. Neither of us knew what to do, other than climb off each other and scramble to cover ourselves back up. While we both clumsily tried to adjust ourselves, Sang-min walked back through the door, through and once more carrying a satchel. He'd forgotten it for work, I suppose. You'll have to stop on my account. If you ask permission, you can do whatever the hell you want, he said. Then he laughed again. Don't know what you think you're even going to do, though. Aren't you two missing something? I wish he had struck me instead. It would have hurt me far less worse than what he said, or what you had to watch me do. What? I'm so confused again. I wish he had struck me instead. It would have hurt me far less than what he said, or what you had to watch me do. I don't know. Just imagine that scene, her in the horror pleading with her husband, being mocked like that. What do you make of that? They had it coming. Don't you dare, oh! I'm not saying she wasn't a bad wife, she's clearly not, but don't judge her for it. I get it, you'd never do anything like that. Nope. Well, isn't that good for you? Fine, you're better than her, but she's still just a woman. I think she's gonna... The reason I hate this game is they're both girls. There's no guy. Do you really think treating her like that would make things better? Come on, you should understand how sensitive and emotional women are. That's true. That'll just hurt her more. Maybe that's something you might do, but a man should be better than that. So yeah, I think that's pretty messed up. And you should too. Anyway, I'll let you get back to reading. No, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Okay. Hana. It's so unfair. Why couldn't you have been born a man instead? Sure, you'd lose your beauty and the gentleness I love about you, but at least you'd be able to do something, and Sang-min would be jealous. Instead of thinking of you as completely unthreatening, I just know you want to be able to stand up for me, and it's killing me to see that you're powerless too. Right now, he's happy to keep me around, and you know it gets him off to have something to hold over my head. I have no idea you were so lustful that you'd even settle for a woman, he says. What's that like? Did I just skip a page? Yeah. The worst part, I know that the only way to keep seeing you is to play along. Oh, well, for a girl my age. I respond and press my hands against my face to look like I'm embarrassed. I'm just playing. It's not the same without. I trail off because I don't even want to say this word because he thinks it's so cute when I'm too ashamed to say the word, C-O-C-K. Yeah. Poor girl, he says as he roughly gropes me. And I force out all the soft moans and gasps to make him think that he's really making me happy. And I say awful things. I love awful things, love. I say awful things about you. It kills me. It just kills me. That's so weird. And then I beg just to see more of you. I don't know what leaves a worse taste in my mouth, him or those words. What else can I do? I'm sorry, So-jin. I know last time I talked to you, all I did was cry. Thanks for not asking. It was just so hard to hold it. Well, all in the same while smiling cutely for your husband. We had the worst fight ever, don't we? Aw, that's kind of sad. Okay, yeah, that's disgusting. Exactly. Saying things like that. Ugh. They taught her letters so she could write that. And that's why a smart man stays the hell away from whores. Deception is just what they do. Well, that's women in general, I guess, now that I think about it. Excuse me? Still, I bet if he'd read what she'd written here, he'd never have wanted to sleep with her. Anyway, I'll let you get back to reading. God, this is so weird. That is not what I wanted. Here we go. Okay. Yay, the last one of this block. I'm done with this stuff. Last time you spoke, I poured wine for you rather than the usual tea. It seemed as though you needed it. I held you tight while you drank, petting your hair and wiping every tear to drop from those deep, sad eyes. He's going to get bored eventually, you had said. And though I tried to comfort you, we both knew it was true. I could try pressuring him to buy you, I had offered. It was our only option, really. If he didn't, you simply return to the service of the government to be rented out to who knows who. And we would never meet again. Thanks, you said. Do you think he'll listen? You asked. I wish nothing more than to be able to lie to you. You said that, of course I did. And it would be all right. No, I said. I couldn't. We sat for a long time in silence. Finally I said, even that would be worse than you deserve. He owns me and see how I'm treated. I wish he could have far better. Sorry, you said, but please don't be. All this is my fault. If I had just been a good wife and left well alone, all this heartbreak could have been avoided, I said, trying to calm you, but you only cried more. When you had no more tears left, he spoke again. What about the other courtesan he bought, the real mother of Min-hee? What if you blackmailed him? If only. I would do it gladly for you, but the royal family knows already. I shut off my mouth in front of Mute once, without thinking. And soon enough, it was my own fault, too. What? So, oh, you said, what if I gave him a son, you suggested, even though I knew how appalling the thought was to you. And I couldn't help but laugh when I thought of why it would never work. Oh, Hana, I said. Do you think the reason I've never gotten pregnant was for lack of trying? I stroked your cheek. In the months you've been with him, has your period ever been disrupted even once? No, you said as I realized what I was saying. It would never work. As tears fell from your eyes once more, you started to laugh too. I figured it was just, all chance. I shook my head. No child in the first year of marriage, that is chance. I said, laughing sadly, whether he is too proud or too stupid to realize, I know not, but 1 child in 11 years of marriage? That is no chance. That is an important man raising someone else's daughter. You looked at me, realizing the plan was doomed. There aren't any real men in the house, are there? In this house, are there? You said finally. We laughed and laughed, your future so sadly uncertain. Well, there you have it. That's it for the scandalous and sordid story of the noble wife, So-jin, and her husband's whore. I keep going back and forth on how to feel about the whole thing. On the one hand, I feel pretty bad for So-jin. It should have never had to sink to that for her.